if you were a Broncos fan going to that fourth quarter, I mean, I don't even know what you guys were thinking. But all Bo did was believe, and look what happened. Let's get this thing going. Here's the play of the day.
Time going long. He's got him for the end zone. And knocked away. Is that intercepted? J.C. Horn. Yes.
On the go. Look at how bad he's beaten, but he just keeps fighting. Gets that one hand up there.
Scores down there. Ward lost the football. Scooped up by Jason, and it's a touchdown.
In the world from Cam Ward, but he's had a turnover in every single one of the Titans games.
The blue head was on. It fucking never fucking works, man.
Coach, it doesn't.
Oh, there they go.
He was faking it.
There they go.
Got
you. You would give it up on that one. You thought for sure it was a draw, didn't you?
And here's a design, and just like he slides and gets hammered, and here comes the flag. This
From 61, and the kick is good. A new Green Bay Packers franchise.
It is Hurts launching it. A.J. Brown is loose, and A.J. Brown has it. And that might have sealed the game for Philadelphia on a huge third down conversion.
Fake it to him. Herbert pump, knocked up in the air. Who's got it? The Colts do. Big man pick. Grover Stewart with a slobber. And Dart will get it from Schloman, and it was caught by Robinson, but held out. Dobbins a block to the end zone, deflected, and did Franklin get it on the ricochet? Touchdown! Fake handoff, here comes Nix in pursuit, getting a block, and he'll get inside the pylon. 3rd and 5, they come up the middle, and intercepted! It's picked up by Sternad! He breaks the tackle, breaks another, now inside the 20! Nix, chased by Thibodeau, backpedaling, touchdown, Harvey! And the Broncos are back in business. So, on 1st and 10, blocked by Bowles, touchdown Denver! The Broncos have their first lead today!
Want to have a dreaming getting outside and getting this going.
Extra point here is and oh no, he missed that one again. It's a 1st and 5. Nix and caught by Sutton. Got it on the side. Newman was holding. Will Watts, 39-yard field goal for the win. He got it. Denver has won.
Welcome back to the London Games, presented by NetApp. It's the final game of the London Series 2025.
Stafford, pump fakes, brings it complete to Williams. Tiptoes down the sidelines. He's going to be joining us throughout the day for the end zone. It's a touchdown grab by Note Mumfield. Quick throw for Adams. Touchdown, Rams! Quick snap, it's Washington to get into round, and he runs right into Forbes again. Little is wide left. Stafford fakes it to Adams. Touchdown! Flag is down. Lawrence over the middle. Incomplete. To start this drive. Lawrence from his end zone. Deep over the middle. He's got Brown. And Stafford's going to throw for it. And he's got himself a receiver. And it is a touchdown. Terrence Ferguson. Lawrence looking for Hunter. Flag down. Touchdown.
Corn
Mahomes behind Stafford, and he's throwing for it. It's Adams. And we have history. Last year, 4th and 13 for Lawrence. Steps up to the end zone. Double chipped and almost caught by.
And with that, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Fun NFL. Please like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed the NFL Week 7 Sunday recap. As you just saw, the highlights from that Rams and Jags game. A very crazy Sunday of football, despite maybe not the greatest amount of games. Still, again, a decent amount overall. But with that said, like I said, you just saw the Rams dismantle the Jaguars 35-7. I got the Sunday Night Football game playing in the background, too. A lot of things are going on. But, thankfully, and all that stuff going on, the Rams still won as they go into their bye week at 5-2 with these back-to-back road-ish wins. As they have not, they will return home for again a much-needed bye week. Jaguars are also going their bye week, but they probably don't want to go in the way they are, as they now fall to 4-3, have now dropped 2 straight games, and have some things to think about. For sure, considering how they played in this game. With that said, this was not your typical blowout per se. We'll get to that at some point, probably towards the middle of this. But for the Rams, Matt Stafford threw 5 touchdowns, and again, according to these notes I got, again, I haven't really gotten to watch all his throws, but that is the most touchdowns thrown by a quarterback in international football history, 5, which again is honestly what you'd probably expect. But 180 yards kind of reminds me of that game that Jameis Winston had against the Packers like back in 2021 week 1. But in this case, I mean, Matthew had to do a little bit more than that. Hopefully, at least. But again, it was definitely a red zone merchant game in that sense. But Kyron and Blake Corum, I honestly think the run game was decent. But like I say ish because like Blake Corum really didn't get going at all. And then like same thing with Kyron Williams. He had a couple decent runs, but nothing crazy. Colby Parkinson had by far and away his best game so far this season. Again, he had injury issues as well as start the season, but again, he wasn't really that good in week 1. Had that bad fumble that almost cost the Rams that week 1 game. But this week, he was a big factor downfield. He made, a couple nice catches, but even bigger, though, he just straight up blocked really well in this game. That's what I want to keep him on the team. That's what's going to keep him playing consistently. The fact that he can be a good blocker, not only, again, obviously as a run blocker, or even as a pass blocker, but also like functioning in terms of creating yak for some of these receivers. Because there were a couple plays where they wouldn't have been able to pick up first downs if it wasn't for Colby Parkinson's blocking. On top of that, Devontae Adams scored 3 touchdowns, and with those 3 touchdowns, again, according to this stat line, I might be wrong on this, but 3 touchdowns set the record for most touchdowns per game. I think receiving touchdowns, that is, per game versus single opponent. Again, that being the Jaguars. Minimum 5 games, and that's at 1.8 touchdowns per game, which is pretty crazy. And you look at what he did last year against the Jags, and then you could probably definitely see that. And he also had a pretty good game, big game against them way back in 2017 as well, if I can remember that right. Terrence Ferguson, though, 31-yard touchdown as well. He had his first career touchdown. He deserved this. It's been a minute. Again, a long wait for that. This is also the Rams' best start since 2021. They've obviously not had good starts to the season the past couple years, so this is, again, definitely a breath of fresh air, even though it hasn't been obviously perfect by any means. Also, Stafford's the first quarterback to throw 4 touchdowns, no interceptions in an international game since Jimmy G, who took the knee on those last couple plays, did back for the Niners when they dismantled the Cardinals in Mexico, last Mexico game. We're also a Mexico game in 2026. I wanted to mention that because I kind of forgot about that. But yeah, like World Cup and all, so that's why they haven't had it in a while. But anyway, moving over to the defense, they were really, really good. Obviously, I think this is probably a top 3 or 4 defense in football right now. They have so many guys that can get pressure. They get 4 better than anyone in football. On top of that, their secondary was just absolutely crazy in this game. Yes, they weren't awesome overall. There were definitely some plays where they gave a little bit too much separation, but Kobe Durant had his best game of the season. Quentin Lake is really just emerging as this amazing player. Cam Curl has again always been, I wouldn't say reliable, but he's definitely been a playmaker for them. Amanda Forbes still can't tackle, but he wasn't too bad in this game. Leighton Lim had a sack and a half. Jared Verse got a sack as well, and obviously Byron Young continues to just absolutely cook. Also, the main thing from this defense is they continue to bend. And the reason I say they bend is because they did give them a lot of yardage. I'm not going to lie. 4.8 yards per play to the Rams, 4.4, 358 yards. It's not like they didn't give them anything. But they held the shutout for most of this game. It wasn't for Travis Hunter doing the thing he did. They would have held a shutout, and it's because of the fact that the Jags went an abysmal 3 of 15 on third down, and then they also went 2 of 6 there as well on turning over the ball 4 times on downs. So the Rams defense, simply put, they just put up a wall once they got on their half of the field. On top of that, again, Ferguson. Higbee wasn't great, and also the pressure drops and miscues by the Jaguars kind of, again, like all overall, again, accumulated to that. But really, that's all I got for the Rams, guys. At the end of the day, they completely dominated this game, even though it really wasn't the typical way you would have thought of that. But outside of that, moving over to the Jags now. This sucks. I mean, if you're a Jags fan, you think about it, they're coming across the country. This is kind of, I wouldn't say a home game for them. It's like the game they play every single year. You'd expect them to come in here and show up. That just didn't happen in this game, to be honest with you guys. It felt a little bit like last year when they played the Bears here, except the fact that the Jags, at least in this game, were definitely they were a better team, obviously, this year than they were last year. But this just was, again, a big game for them, and they just completely did not show up really overall. And again, it was even more frustrating the fact they moved the ball. Trust me, back in 2022, I'm not going to act like the Rams. Obviously, the Rams weren't really good before they obviously fell apart. But that year, the first couple weeks, they had a couple games where they moved the ball really well, but they could not get in the end zone or even put up points. And that's what I felt like the Jags were like in this game. So, again, you can definitely see that there. Other than that, though, Trevor Lawrence had a lot of errant throws. Shout out to, what is it called? Where is he? Travis Hunter. He had first really productive game as a player, NFL player. Had a 34-yard touchdown as well. But they need to get him on defense because this defense was absolutely trash in this game. I mean, guys, you have 5 touchdowns through the air. Like, I don't care how good you are outside of that. It's not really going to get it done. Also, predictable blend of layers in the secondary and overall just the zone coverage. It seemed Stafford really knew what he was doing there. Secondary wasn't too was too reactionary. I think Greg Newsome had a pretty decent game, but outside of that, all these other guys, again, especially a guy like Austin Johnson, where is he? Jerry and Jones definitely didn't react the greatest. Other than that, there's a bunch of other things that I wrote down that, again, we'll probably get through the rest of the week. But that's all I got for you guys this game. At the end of the day, guys, the Rams blew out the Jaguars, even though the Jaguars did outgain them by a substantial amount. Kind of a weird game at the end of the day in that sense. But hey, Rams get the huge W. Let's get into our 1 o'clock games in the first one, which was a complete disaster.
From Huntington Bank Field on the banks of Lake Erie, we welcome you to the NFL on CBS today.
Game and make up those numbers.
Handoff, and breaking free. All that speed, Tyson Campbell.
Is mistakes.
Jenkins, unleashed. Jenkins, touchdown. The Esridge is going to play. Esridge, football is out.
What a pop.
Cleveland's got it.
To pound that Miami defense low.
For a little bit of a bubble, Jenkins gets it back. Jenkins spins his way in for the Cleveland touchdown. With possession down 11 from their 30. That one is picked. Campbell, and he will waltz in for the pick 6. Among the best third down teams. Blitzer to us. Pass picked off. Jenkins. Jenkins' first pick with Cleveland. Jenkins bangs it in. Sewer's pass, first down, and that one is picked.
We suck again.
Browns ain't done yet. Fourth and 4. Cleveland rushes 4 over the middle. And they're going to get the first down with the Esridge.
Like, oh my God, guys! I want to say this is gonna be like 2021, and they're gonna go on. They're gonna like run the table after next week. But like, I can't say that with a straight face, guys. This Dolphins team is absolutely awful. This is about, again, maybe next week they're worse. Maybe they give 70 points to the Falcons. That would actually be crazy. I don't know. The Falcons aren't really playing well. But yes, this was absolutely insane. They're now 1-6. They haven't been this bad since 2021. Like I said, they did fall to 1-7 that season and ended up finishing 9-8. So, I mean, we'll see. But Mike McDaniel, is he fired yet? Not odds. Again, I don't care. I'm not freaking using Kalshi. Okay, Chris Greer. There's no news. We're not being a good, again. What is it? Freaking Steve Ross, whatever the hell his name is. Their owner. He's not making any decisive decisions right now, which again is all him because again it is his football team at the end of the day. Not really though. He can get pushed out like Dan Snyder, but again I don't really think anyone's associating those two guys. Who knows though? Like the gambling, not the gambling. What am I talking about? That's like Pete Rose. But the freaking collusion, the tampering, all that stuff. But anyway, for the Dolphins, yeah, they suck. They got the Falcons next week. Browns, they moved to 2-5, big time W for them. They're now not as awful, I guess. They're not good, but they're not as awful. They'll be playing the Patriots next week on the road, which honestly, again, it worked out for me this week, so maybe I go with them next week too. Again, we'll look at that next week. But anyway, Tua was absolutely abysmal. His first pick, again, the pick 6, again, that was also bad too. I can't really make any excuse for him this week. Last week I made a lot of them for him, and on film I think that backed them up. He had a couple of inaccurate throws last week, but he really overall wasn't that bad. This week though, again, the weather. I mean, I guess you could say that he is a pretty fair weather quarterback, but yeah, you can't make any excuses for Tua in this game. He was absolutely atrocious. This was a benchable performance, and it obviously was reflected when Quinn Ewers came in. But 2 or 3 picks, a pick 6 in there as well. He's thrown 3 picks in the past 2 weeks. I don't care. Again, last week that most of those weren't his fault. You can't win games with a quarterback playing like this. It's just that simple. Also, the first lefty quarterback battle since 2006. Probably should have mentioned that in the preview, but whatever. Other than that, though, I have a lot of things I got to talk about that I'm probably not going to get into. But yeah, oh boy, this team's just not very good. A-Chain was very good, but if you took away the long run, then maybe he wasn't. I mean, again, that was really all he did. Again, the fact of the matter is he's the only guy in this offense that's really doing anything. If I have this right, they had 98 net punt yards. And the rest of this offense, other than A-Chain, literally had less yards than that. It's pretty bad. Dwayne Eskridge obviously farted that ball out of his butt on that return. Other than that, though, he, I guess, was their best offensive player, technically by yardage. Also, nothing worked. Again, that's probably the best way to put it for this offense. Tackles got undercut almost every third down. That was specifically by Worse on the Browns' defense. Not this dude. This dude was pretty good, too. Isaiah McGuire, that's what it was. He had like 6 or 7 pressures. I'm not even trying to be like clip farming there. That's just this like truth with that. Other than that, though, Ewers is not an NFL quarterback. I mean, yeah, he made some nice throws, but he just didn't look like one, to be honest with you guys. Again, that was really just the eye test there. So we'll see what he looks like on garbage time film. Yeah, inconsistent simulated pressures and stunts. Jalen Phillips was pretty good overall, but again, I don't think they really used those guys the right way. Like, Zach Sealer was good against the run, but Bradley Chubb really wasn't used the way he should have been. Again, he's a guy who maybe gets traded. Linebackers tackled, which was a little bit better than last week. And they also haven't won a road game since they were in Cleveland last year, which, again, isn't that crazy, but still not very good. Other than that, though, yeah, for the Browns, we look over at them. Gabriel was out there. He got his first W as a NFL quarterback, but yeah, he really didn't have to do much in this game, but just kind of pitch and catch. Quinshon Judkins, 3 touchdowns. I mean, I think there's a little bit of a milked performance in terms of, again, his actual numbers, because realistically he should have had better yards per carry, but he got a lot of like garbage time milking the clock. Again, a lot of milking going on in this. No Diddy, but still. Yes, that's what I'd say there. Again, a lot of his carries late were kind of just diminishing the efficiency, at least right there. Anyway, though, Fan is their only reliable option, right? At least in this game. I mean, like, Jerry Jeudy didn't look very good. I didn't see Isaiah Bond anywhere. He probably, I don't know, maybe he's going to need a bond to get out of jail or something. Who knows? But Harold Finn didn't really do much, but still he's their best option, at least especially over the middle. When this offense doesn't stink it up, I mean, the defense does with their thing. It's a very talented group. I think it's very, again, assumative to say. I don't think that's a word, but whatever. Denzel Ward he's honestly arguably been the best cornerback in football so far this year. There's been a couple games where he's gotten beat, but other than that, he's been, like, really, really good. And I'm not talking, like, for big plays, though, because I wouldn't be saying that if he did. Same number of home runs as last year already. I don't think that's really saying much, because they won, I think, the same amount some sort of week close to last year. I think it was, like, what was it, week 8 last year? They forced 4 turnovers. And yes, the DBs were awesome. They had a very, remember the linebackers were, I kind of forgot I put that. And yeah, held the Dolphins to 1 of 13 on third down. That's really the biggest stat line there. Again, they didn't really have too much yardage. They actually got outgained, but again, controlled the clock decently. 4 turnovers by Miami. I get the big win is the Miami gets handed this disastrous loss. With all that said, though, hopefully you thought this next game was better, because I certainly thought it was.
Mike Vrabel back in Tennessee to face his former team, which is now led by Mike McCoy. Clock at 1. Ward taking a deep shot. DK is down there. DK, touchdown! May, end zone. Hooper! Touchdown! Austin Hooper! May taking a deep shot down the field. Booty is down there! Touchdown! What a catch! Kayshon Boutte! First and goal for New England. Ramondre Stevenson walks it in for a touchdown. Ward, and that one's intercepted. Picked off by Marcus Jones.
All right, the Patriots get their 4th straight win. They have not won that many games in a row since they won 6 straight back in 2021 after that 2-4 start. But again, you can kind of see them starting to turn things around that year. But again, 4 straight W's. They swept their 3-game road trip against some decent teams. I don't know, maybe the Bills are frauds. But they're now 5-2, maintaining their lead in the AFC East with this 31-13 victory. Titans fall to 1-6 for the 2nd straight season. That has not happened since 09 and 010, when again the Jake Locker era was going to start at some point. I don't know when it was going to start, but definitely at some point. Titans next week will be heading to Indy to take on the Colts. Oh, God. Patriots will be hosting the Browns. And again, a million trap game, maybe. But anyway, for the Patriots, Drake May, 91% completion percentage. That is now the Patriots franchise record. Tom Brady's best game was 88%. So I don't know, maybe Drake May, being the sneaky athletic guy he is, it's just better than Tom Brady. Who knows? But other than that, yeah, it was the exact score of my prediction. You can go clip that. I don't know, maybe YouTube took it down or something. But again, if you can see it, again, that was, I guarantee you that was my score prediction. I might be seeing things. Who knows though? This is also their best start since 2019 through 6 or 7 games, something like that. Other than that though, Stevenson had his best game of the season. I don't think it was really close. Obviously, his highest usage, but he just simply looked like a different player this game. I don't know if it was quite 2022, but he looked really freaking good. Trayvon Henderson obviously only got 2 carries in this game as well. Other than that, though, yeah, May didn't even my bad. Drake May should not run this much. When you're beating a team by 3 scores, I don't know what you're trying to do with that. He had like 2 or 3 carries later in the game where he shouldn't have been running, but whatever. Diggs and Booty were explosives and getting wide open. Yeah, Booty was wide open in this game. Yeah, he did his thing like that. But Diggs, yeah, he got open like very consistently. That's part of the reason he had a pretty productive game. Maybe not his best game, but still, you get the point. Austin Hooper had a really nice touchdown as well. Chase and Landry had a field day. Yeah, they were doing their own thing out there. Both those dudes, I don't even know what they were doing, because there were some plays schematically they were not fitting into this defense. But again, they were doing their own thing. They were winning. They kind of just cut them loose there. On that though, linebackers, they did sit in the holes. Again, what I'm talking about is the zone holes there. And also DBs didn't have to do too much in this game, which is part of the reason their safeties didn't get exposed. But that's just me. Anyway, for this for the Titans, I mean, yeah, Cam has to get the ball out. I mean, it's pretty simple. On first down, this offense is so ineffective. And again, that's why they weren't good on third down in this game, is because Cam Ward just holding on the ball, and he's either taking a sack or putting his team in a worse situation, or just completely messing up the play, which was going to work. And then also he fumbles too much. I mean, you can't be fumbling this much and expecting to be a successful team or quarterback too. Other than that, DK, there might be something there. He had a nice touchdown. He was the only guy in this offense really making any sort of plays either. So I mean, that's what was going on. 6 carries for Tony Pollard is kind of weird, but I was a little bit confused by that as well. And O-line has to maintain gap integrity to give running backs a chance. Tajay Spears really didn't have a chance in this game. I was shocked he had 22 yards, to be honest with you guys. Tony Pollard, not so much, because he only got 6 carries. And also couldn't create bonus yards, again, from the skill positions. Again, a guy like Van Jefferson really didn't do much. Again, they really didn't have much there. He also got hurt, so again, prayers to him to get healthy. On that, though, nice first drive. Again, they had a good one a couple weeks ago against the Cardinals as well. On that though, secondary is still far from having chemistry. Yeah, again, they still haven't really figured things out. They got a couple vets in there that I think are solid players, but again, they really haven't gotten things going, despite not being the worst defense in football by any means. Also, pressure was good. I did like their approach, but at the end of the day, they didn't really convert too much. And then bad approach overall on third down. I think this team, despite not being awful defensively on third down, they definitely could have taken advantage of things. Again, they 2 turnovers lost with the biggest issues. Again, this would have not been as big of a loss if Cam Ward didn't play the I don't even know, Slim Shady on that scoop and score from Caleb Von Chasen. But that's all I got for you guys here. Caleb Von Chasen finally looked like a first-round pick for the Patriots. Again, former Jag, first-round pick there. That's all I got for you guys here. Now let's get to a really boring game.
Here come the Jets, East Rutherford, New Jersey, searching for their first win of the season, hosting the suddenly hot Carolina Panthers. Big chance for the Jet defense. They stonewall Rico Dowdle. Will have to see. Young, can he find anybody? Yes, he can. Touchdown, Xavier Legette. Pitch to Rico Dowdle. He's got it with ease. And down the sideline, it's at the 30. Field goals. Floating one. And reaching up. It's intercepted by Horn again. Dalton Sideline for Leggett, and he's under it, and he's got it. And that is a first and a finish for Carolina.
All right, this game, there's really nothing good I can say about it. I'm going to try to keep this very brief. Panthers, though, win their third straight game. Can't tell you the last time that's happened. This is now their first time of them being over 500 since week 5 of 2021. That is insane to say. But again, they started out 3-0 that year. So again, unless they keep winning, I don't really see that any of those other things are going to change. But still, they're now 4-3. They got the Bills next week at home. That'll be a really fun game to watch. But they hung on in this game. Jets fought 0-7. They're obviously the meme team now. I think that's what I labeled them as. They'll be heading to Cincy to take on Joe Flacco. And again, former team right there. Again, we got Aaron Rodgers facing the Packers next week. And now we got Joe Flacco facing his former team. But anyway, again, obviously not his main team. That was the Ravens. But whatever. Bryce Young got injured. I didn't really see him play much. So I don't really know what's going on. He didn't look, again, the ankle injury isn't too concerning from what I saw. But again, I'm not some doctor. Again, I might diagnose ACL tears. Again, they're usually right, too. I'm like, maybe a 50-50 shot, yeah. Don't take me on that one. But still, Bryce Young injury, at least from what I saw, wasn't too bad. Rigo Dowdle, he definitely got slowed down, but honestly, there's a little bit of an issue here. I think they honestly should trade him. You gave Chuba all that money. You're going to have to use him. He wasn't good in this game, but, like, I don't know. They got two running backs who are both, one's better than the other. I think Rigo's honestly better than Chuba. But again, Chuba's getting paid the money. Money does, in fact, talk. So unless they want to be idiots, I mean, do your own thing, I guess. But still, that's what I saw in this game. Other than that, though, I did notice that this offense, I saw this offensive line wasn't getting the second level. And when they don't get the second level, it's kind of like Rico Dowdle won't be able to break those bigger runs, as most running backs wouldn't be able to either. Xavier Legette finally showed up, but I think he got injured. So, again, when anything ever good happens to this dude, I guess it just can't be good. Also, Derek Brown was fun to watch in this game. He had, I guess, led this team in tackles, but he also had 2 sacks. He was an absolute monster in this game. This is the best I've seen him since that 2023 season on the abysmal Panthers team. Ashawn and Trayvon Moehrig also had a decent game. Trust me, they are very different players at very, very different positions on that defense. Don't assume anything there. J.C. Oren looked like a superstar. Yeah, he had 2 picks. He played the way you'd expect him to against the worst passing attack you've ever seen. Nick Scorton also had a breakout game-ish. I don't think he had more than 3 pressures, but despite him being a little bit stiff on the bend around the edge, he was very good in this game. I don't know what happened for this team. They won, I guess. Yeah. Oh yeah, my bad. This is what I said. Lucky this was the Jets. You can't play with your food and expect to win games. I think that's what it was. Yeah. But finally, yes, for Xavier, specifically what it was is the fact that he was reliable over the middle and as an intermediate guy. For the Jets, though, yeah, the Jets finally realized that maybe Justin Fields isn't a good quarterback, and they threw Tyler Taylor in there, who proceeded to throw 2 picks and losing the game. But still, it's a lot better than what Justin would have gave you. Running game was non-existent-ish. Receiving game, Tyler Johnson had 1 wide-open pass. Other than that, nothing really happened. It wasn't even that big of a play either. I think it was 25 yards. But yeah, again, when you have absolutely no one in this offense that can catch the football, probably going to expect this. Mason Taylor at least is a reliable short option, but again, he's not really a guy you're ever going to think at any point in his career would be more than, again, a supplemental piece as a receiver at tight end. This offense sucks. I don't want to watch it. Olu Fashanu can only do so much. He's actually probably the only guy in this offense that performed somewhat well in this game. Again, the offensive tackle, that is. No receiver to Jack, again, obviously. And then, yeah, Jamin Sherwood was very good in this game. This defense, again, I think is okay. But again, the edge rushers did in fact do a good job getting pressure. But again, Cisco and Moore, Andre Cisco, the vet, former Jaguar, and then Malcolm Moore, the rookie. I think there's definitely something there for them at safety. But then again, the Jets defense put on a winning performance. They kept this game close. But with the offense being what the offense is, they lost this game. That's all I got for you guys here. Now let's get to a game that was, again, definitely more things happened.
Cloudy and rainy Chicago, but they're ready for a football Sunday as the Bears and Saints clash. Former college teammates.
Explosive play with that elite speed that he has.
Taysom Hill, the motion man. Rattler under pressure. Ball is out. He fumbled, and it's recovered by Chicago. Four-man pressure. Williams down the sideline. Intercepted. Quincy Riley. Good snap and hold. Groupie's kick needs to bend, and it does not enough. Coming again. It's picked up. Rattler intercepted.
Picked off by the Sean Wright. Across the 40. Wright still on the move. Down the sideline. The Sean Wright.
From the eye, Swift. Cut back. Hops into the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago. Manungai to the end zone. And there's his first NFL touchdown. For 9 this year on 4th down. Kamara up the gut. He didn't get there. Not even close. 2nd and 10. Rattler looking deep. He's got Olave out there. Drops it into Olave and down at the 20-yard line. 2nd and 10. Looked like movement early on the right side as he throws to the end zone, and it's Olave leaping high for 6. As time floating for the end zone for Olave, and he hangs on for a Saints touchdown. It's away from Sweat, directing traffic. Wants to throw downfield. He's got Shaheed out there, and instead it's intercepted by Kevin Byard. It's Taysom Hill, who flips it to the sideline, and room to run for Kamara. Rattler under center, 4th down and 1. On the roll, Rattler throws, it's deflected and intercepted by Edmonds. Tremaine Edmonds with the pick.
All right, let me just flip to this next game. Oh shoot, yeah, this game was interesting. I'll give them that. This game was something. But anyway, Bears double-digit victory over the Saints. They almost blew a 20-point lead. Again, they were up 20-0 in that first half, but they were able to hang on and have a very solid second half, shutting out the Saints in the fourth quarter as they move to their 4th straight win with this victory. Saints fall to 1-6, their worst start since 1999. That season they went 3-13. So maybe they'll bottom out or something like that. Saints next week will be who are they playing? I can't tell. Oh, they got the Bucks on their at home, and then they had the LA take on the Rams off their bye. That is going to be a tough game for them. Next 2 weeks are going to be rough for them. Bears though, next week will be they'll be playing. Who are they even playing next week? They just had their bye week. 2 weeks ago they had their bye week. So let me think. They're playing the. Who are they playing? We'll get back to that in a minute. Anyway, for the Saints, Spencer Rattler was not a pussy in this game. I don't want to use swears on there, but that's probably the best way to put it. He threw the ball downfield. He was a man in this game. That's really all that happened, though, because he turned over the ball freaking 4 times. It's really hard to win games when that happens. Alvin Kamara in this running game is really tough to watch. Chris Olave went off. Again, it doesn't really look like that, but he got open so much, guys. It's actually not even funny. But he had 2 touchdowns. He had a 57-yard catch. He went absolutely bonkers in this game. Juwan Johnson just continues to put up very quiet top 5 fantasy tight end numbers. Again, at least receiving in this game. Rashid G kind of got contained as well. But other than that, for this Saints team, I don't have too much to talk about. It was probably him losing his thought with the pocket. I don't really know why I wrote that. That's kind of what I examined, I guess the best way to put it. It wasn't that he didn't trust the pocket. It was he just completely disconnected from it, which is just not really going to win you games. Also, the O-line movements was a little bit off. Again, that kind of like this. And also the pre-snap protection, he really wasn't always dialed into. Also, the abandoned run game as expected. They're competitive, but not good. That's what I'm going to keep saying about the Saints all year. They're going to be a team that is going to be hanging around in games, but they're not going to really do much outside of that. Guards did seal well. I think they did do a good job in that sense. I didn't really maintain, though. Again, they maintained their blocks, that is. Other than that, though, secondary did play very well. I like the fact they didn't really get much separation whatsoever, which is going to keep them in games. Other than that, though, no true consistency for consistent guy for pressure. Yes, Chase Young, I think did do a decent job with that, but overall, again, you're not going to see that every week. And then also Quincy Riley on the interception was a very fun play to watch because he actually looked like an NFL player in this game. On that, though, Blake Grupe kind of sucked. He had a bad missed kick. I guess he wasn't bad on extra points. For the Bears, though, I still haven't figured out who they're playing, so I'm just going to look this up. Who are they playing next week? They got the Ravens on the road. That'll be interesting. Is Lamar going to be back? Do we have an update on Lamar? I mean, we're going to be looking at that in a couple days, but I just want to see. Expected return action week 8. Okay, yeah, okay. That game's going to be fun. I think they're still going to lose, that being the Bears. But anyway, Caleb. They've for 4 straight wins. I think that's the first time they've done that since 2018. You might say, oh, they were 4-2 last year, second straight season that's happened. Yeah, that is true. But also, I think they other than the Tyreek Stevenson play, I don't think they were. Yeah, because they won week 1. There's no way they won 4 straight. But other than that, though, what else do we got for this Bears team? Yeah, game was too close. Again, when you're up 20-0, you probably wouldn't want it to get to a 1-score game. But whatever. Caleb, yeah, he was confident, but he still missed a lot of crucial cues, pre-snap, as well as in his progression. That kind of sums things up there. Joe Thuney might be the best offensive lineman in football. This running game is absolutely insane when he is the guy that, again, is at the center of it. These guys are just running free, to be honest with you guys, especially with the speed they do have. Kyle Monangai, again, I'm not really surprised they have a good duo now, but with Ben Johnson. But again, Kyle Monangai coming into the NFL, I wasn't really expecting to be projecting as a really true, not usable, but usable back as a rookie. But that is, again, really what's turned into. So again, that's pretty cool. Really beating out Roschon Johnson there, who again had actually a decent carry in his own right. But other than that, Yeah, D was good. I didn't really want to get into too deep into them because we want to kind of save a little bit of time there. But still, their defense played well. They had a lot of yardage. They controlled the clock pretty well. But again, when you turn it over 4 times on the road, Saints probably not going to win the game. But I'm really interested to see what these two teams do next week. Now let's get over to our next game, which was definitely the best game in the early window.
Night for Philadelphia's Super Bowl 52 win, but Jalen Hurts and the reigning Super Bowl champs have dropped back-to-back games to get a little extra rest after a... There is the push. Let's see where they spot this ball. 8 back in coverage this time for Minnesota. Hurts pointing, throwing, trying to find a loose man. It's A.J. Brown. He's in. Touchdown, Eagles. It's one of the worst marks in the NFL. So they convert to stay on the field. And Wentz takes a shot for Jordan Addison. It is going to be ruled. Blitz coming. Wentz hit as he throws, picked off. Intercepted. There goes Jalix Hunt. House call Philadelphia. Rolling out. Looking downfield. Launches a ball. Dangerous pass. Intercepted. Picked up by Andrew Makuba. Deep drop for Hurts. Trying to find something downfield. And it's Devontae Smith. He's loose. He's got it. He is gone. Touchdown Eagles. Snap. It is Mason to the left. Can he win the race there? He looked to be short. Offsides. Elliott. No good. 5 on the pressure. Hurts throws down the seam. A.J. Brown touchdown. His second of the day. They're going to run it. 2 yards for the game, and they're going to get it to Addison, and he's out of bounds inside of 3 minutes.
All right, as you guys could see, the ending really was a little bit anticlimactic, but the Eagles were able to hold on as they got a big bounce-back win 10 days ago. Again, considering how they played against the Giants. So, big-time bounce-back win for them. They're now 5-2. They've started out 5-2 or better every year since 2022. And again, they were 6-1 or 7-0 those first 2 years. They've been 5-2 the last 2 years. But again, they won the Super Bowl last year, so I mean, there might be something there. But still, they're 5-2 now. They will be playing somebody next week. Who knows actually who they're playing? No, they're playing the Giants, I think, at home. That'll be actually a really fun game. Why are they playing them each other in 2 weeks apart? Who really knows? But that's what I got there. Vikings, they're now 3-3 with this tough loss. But they got really no one knows where they're going. But they have actually a very quick decision to make because they will be hosting the Chargers this week on Thursday Night Football. But anyway, for the Eagles, Jalen Hurts had his best passing game in a while. I mean, the reason I say a while is because I can't tell you the last time he's passed this well. But even then, I still don't think he was really getting through his progressions that great. There were definitely some throws left in the field. But overall consistency, him navigating the pocket and using his legs to really create plays, which is where he's going to be an effective passer, that was definitely at the top of his game right there. As he did throw 3 touchdowns, didn't really miss many throws, and he was just kind of doing his thing out there. Despite, again, like I said, definitely some throws left in the field. But you're definitely going to take this performance every day of the week with Jalen Hurts. Running game was awful. Again, they can't really run the ball. I don't really know what to tell you guys. I'll try to find reasons how they can fix it this week. It'll be my side quest. But anyway, Devontae Smith had 183 yards, which again was a career high. 79-yard touchdown. He had himself a game. A.J. Brown had 2 touchdowns. He is a taking time bomb. That is really what I saw in this game. O-line was super upright, and it kind of worked, again, especially in terms of pass blocking. But again, run blocking, definitely not. 250 passing yards, 20-plus yards downfield. Again, those are deep attempts from Jalen Hurts. That, again, it was the most in his career, and again, that's actually a pretty ridiculous number if you think about it. Other than that, though, we move over to their defense, I guess. Is that what we're going to do now? No. Yeah, we can talk about their defense. Zach Bond and Jahad Campbell kind of had a bounce-back game. I'm not going to really say that because I think they still didn't play too bad last week, but definitely were a lot more impactful. And then outside of that, though, I mean, I honestly thought their pass rush was really freaking good. I wasn't too concerned from that. And they also got, again, 2 picks from Jalix Hunt. That was pretty funny. Again, we're going to see another big man pick soon, but Andrew Makuba also had a pick. For the Vikings, again, I think they should stick with Carson Wentz. I understand he didn't have the greatest game, especially with that arm punt on that pick 6, but he's going to give you a lot more of an option at quarterback. As you see, he can actually operate in a drop-back system where I don't think J.J. McCarthy will be able to do that. But obviously, you got to give your number 12 pick, again, the opportunity. But still, you're not a guy like that, like Carson Wentz, who you already know some of the stuff you're going to be getting out of. But still, he's mobile. He'll give you guys a chance in some of these games. That's why I just think, again, this game, again, there were definitely some plays that were unfortunate for this offense. Interior couldn't stop penetration. Getting cooked by Jalen Carter. Yeah, they only got in the end zone once as well. Again, only one touchdown for the Vikings. Again, a lot of stuff on the field, and I think Carson Wentz really only had like a couple plays where he could actually step into throws. Part of the reason he missed a lot of them. Not again the main reason, but definitely part of it. Other than that, though. Yeah, Jefferson has to separate earlier. Again, he obviously is getting open very consistently. He's probably the best receiver in football. Definitely the best definitely the best start to a career any receiver's ever had. But in this game specifically, I didn't see him separating early enough in terms of his route configuration to really, consistently get open and time up with a guy like Carson Wentz, who's consistently getting pressured. On that though, Addison, yeah, he had a really good game. I'm not gonna really harp on that too much. We know who he is. 0-3 following a win this season. That's not going to get done. Also, Metellus he had a rough game in coverage, especially in that first drive. Pressure was only, that's true. They really didn't get any. No one guy really got consistent pressure. Eric Wilson was very good off the blitz, but a guy like Jonathan Grenard, I didn't see too much out of, which is an issue because again they did pay him a lot of money to be their dude when he really wasn't the dude. And again, really so far this season. Boomer bust with the cornerbacks as well. Isaiah Rodgers had a tough game, and their other guys also didn't play great. Not trying to go too deep into that. Linebackers, they do need to do a better job anticipating and trusting their instincts earlier because they are, again, when they do that, they are a good group. And also, run game was supplemental rather than contributing, and when it is contributing, is a much better offense. Again, specifically for the Vikings. But like I said, a lot of stuff left on the field for the Vikings. You're not going to win many games when you only get in the end zone once. Eagles, again, offense who were very explosive in this game, despite kind of being non-existent for part of this one as well. But despite that, they had a very consistent stat line in terms of scoring, getting touchdown in each quarter. But that is all I got for you guys in this game. Let's get to our last game in the early window, which was an absolute just oof.
Andy Reid and Pete Carroll, two oldest coaches in the league, about to square off with the Raiders and the Chiefs. Coming up next on CBS. The offensive holding call on 1st and 20. Mahomes steps up on the run, and look who's wide open. It's Kelsey. And they bring it back around, and they toss it to him. It's Rice cutting through, and he's in the end zone for a touchdown. Mahomes down the middle, and he's got him. Hollywood for the touchdown. Down the middle, it is caught.
You have to throw it.
He looks left, throws left, and it is caught by Rice for his second touchdown of the game. Back, first down, and rolled out with it. Cross the body, look out. Oh, caught somehow. By the way, you saw Worthy shaken up on the sideline as Pacheco races. Oh, we got a flag in the end zone, but it's a touchdown for the moment by Pacheco. Mahomes steps up and launches open. It is caught on his back. Taekwon during the preseason, and he fumbles the snap. It's a fumble, and it's recovered by Kansas City. Could in some years.
100%.
Here's a fourth down run.
That was
and
nice.
They stop him. Now, I don't want to take away from
that was
Indianapolis.
generous of Andy Reid.
Look at that stat line. 30 first downs for the Chiefs, 3 for the Raiders. They had the ball for 42 minutes. This was an NFL game, guys. An NFL. This was not a college. This was not Ohio State versus Lil State. My bad, Michigan. I gotta give you guys your props still. You haven't lost them in 4 years. Lil State versus Kennesaw, Eastern Tennessee, New England Tech, community college. There we go. JUCO, whatever. That was not that was not the matchup. This was a freaking NFL game. Look at the yardage. 434 yards to 90 freaking 5. I thought the Jets were bad last week, guys. This is actually insane. Like, what? That's all I can say. Like, what am I going to say? Oh, the Raiders suck? No. This is insane that's actually happened. Shout out to Rashee Rice. He had 2 touchdowns in his return. Cool. Their defense, obviously, but this was an NFL game. Raiders, they're going to their bye week. They might need to just completely just burn down everything. Like, literally restart. Like, don't even restart. You guys should be relegated from the NFL. Like, what was this game? Chiefs, you're pretty good. You got a game next week, I think, right? They got Commanders, actually. The Chiefs are on their way to a very nice season. But this was actually an NFL game, guys. I'm not even kidding. This was an actual game. Like, I don't even know. I can't. There's nothing to take away from this game other than the fact that this actually happened. That's all I gotta say there. Like, there was another game that was probably even more infallible than this one. But like, you just gotta look at these numbers and you're like if I showed you this, would you say this was an NFL game? You couldn't. It's impossible. Let's get this moving on because we actually have some crazy, definitely one game crazy to get through in the later window.
It's the NFL on CBS live from Southern California. First place in the AFC on the line today.
Up front. On a handoff for Taylor. Big hole. Taylor is good. Touchdown, Colts. There's a big reason why this team is 5-1. Oh, extra point. Badgley. Less than a yard. Play clock winding down. Handed off. Taylor. He got stopped initially. Second effort. And it looks like he's short. A lot of motion up front. Fake the handoff. Jones, a little flip. He's wide open. Pittman is in. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Turns into a 3rd and 17. Jones, a deep drop. Step, throw, deep shot. Jones, he's got a man open. Over the shoulder, it's Pierce. From the gun. Jones fires. End zone. Touchdown, Tyler Warren. 3rd and 7. And it's intercepted. Herbert is picked by Cross. Today, step up, Herbert delivers downfield. The catch is made by Gadsden. And Gadsden, with a flag down, continues to take it down. Fake the handoff. Dials it up. End zone. Touchdown. A strike to Johnston. Taylor sets him as a receiver. Now they do a jet sweep to Taylor. Taylor, zigzag move. Taylor works in for the touchdown. Fake the handoff. Herbert out of the pocket. Avoids the sack. Throws for the touchdown. A low pass is handled. Reagan wouldn't give it up. It's a good coach right there. Easy. It's Taylor on the acceleration. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Rushes on. Herbert steps up. Herbert throwing on the move. Catch, turn, touchdown. Herbert has the time. Pump and throw. He's got his man, McConkey. Herbert gets out of the pocket. He will throw it. Catch is made by Johnston, but not nearly enough.
And in one of the highest profile matchups of the week, the Colts offense continues to roll as they take care of the Chargers rather easily as they build up a 31-10 and then later 38-17 lead, which again, after that 4th down stop, as you guys just saw, they were able to take care of this, really finish off this Chargers team. They moved to 6-1. It's their best start since 2009. Again, I mention that every single week, but again, it continues to be true. Again, tells you it's been a while since they've been this good. Chargers, on the other hand, they're now 4-3. They've lost 3 out of their last 4 games. Their offense has been very inconsistent, if not hard to watch in those games, and their defense has been a shell of what they were to start the season. Colts, though, they will be hosting the Titans next week in what should be a pretty solid performance by them, I hope. And then the Chargers next week will be on a short week as they head to Minnesota to take on a Vikings team also searching for answers. But for Daniel Jones, he had another typically very good week, 23 of 34, 288, and 2 touchdowns behind the best offensive line in football, and a bunch of receivers who are getting wide open. Jonathan Taylor had 3 touchdowns. He is now tied with, I think, Edgerrin James? I might be wrong on that. It's one of those Colts running backs with 5 games of 3+ touchdowns in a game. Again, we look back, again, that's actually tied now for the Colts record, but we look at that 5-touchdown game he had against the Bills back in 2021. That's what I remember from him actually scoring a bunch of touchdowns. But did he have like 3 against the Titans earlier this season? Something like that. Anyway, though, outside of that, for the Colts, running game demonstrates, again, this is the number 1 offensive line in football and what it can do to transform this offense. This offensive line, you can't overstate how good they are. Pittman, he was a pain in the neck to watch in this game. He just completely, again, made a lot of just really nifty plays, which I do like to see out of him. Again, he had a touchdown as well on that 4th down. Alec Pierce, he is just an absolute monster as a deep threat. Like, it's really hard to stop him. Other than that, though, snaps are 5-game losing streak off LA. I don't want to know how long that goes back, considering, again, they don't really play in LA too often. Nick Cross is a top 10 safety as well. He was absolutely just phenomenal in this game. He is like just a freaking playmaker, guys. You need a guy to make plays. He's your dude. Buckner and Stewart are playing at a different level. Again, we look again the big man interception from Grover Stewart. But him and where are we looking at? Him and DeForest Buckner again. They've always been like some of the more premier defensive tackles in football, but they've been probably the best two, at least as a duo so far in the NFL so far this season. Zaire Flanagan and Kenny Moore were just absolute menaces on third down in this game. They made a lot of big plays for this defense. And also Latu has one of the most extensive toolboxes for pass rushers again, off the edge in the entire NFL. And there's some interior guys that can actually stack up against him, but yeah, I'm joking. Latu, very fun to watch him on film there. On that, though, that's really all I got for the Colts. We know how good they are. I don't know. Some people don't. So, again, we'll see how that works out. Chargers, I mean, Justin Herbert threw the ball 55 times. Again, I was kind of questioning it, teetering on a little bit of him having a turnover issue with those 2 picks. But honestly, I don't really see that at the end of the day. But again, he's thrown like 7 picks this year, and he threw like 3 last year. Why'd I say? Oh, dang, I'm cooked. But anyway, 420 yards through the air is absolutely ridiculous. They didn't run the ball, and they abandoned the run. Completely honest with you guys. Again, I didn't talk about this Raiders game because I was so, again, appalled by their performance. But I honestly don't disagree with teams abandoning the run. If your offense has, again, I'm not saying the Raiders exactly do, but if you got a good quarterback, let him throw the effing ball. It's that simple. Again, most of the time you want to run the football, but again, there's teams, I want to say the Chargers, but the Chargers are a team that can win games by just having Justin Herbert throw the ball effing 50 times. He's the freaking one, probably the most talented quarterback in the NFL right now. Let the dude cook. It's that simple. You got to run the ball. No, you don't. If you have a quarterback that can move the ball up and down the field every single play, you can win games. It's that simple. That's why they're there. They can make plays. It's that simple. But realistically, you still got to run the ball to win games and be a sustainable offense. But I am completely, again, for a team just saying, F it, let's have our quarterback just do his own thing out there. Because, again, it works. Again, there's a reason they're this good. All right, off that rant there, Orlando Gatson, 164 receiving yards. If you somehow picked it, you had to have been in some insider trade picking this guy up in fantasy. Yes, he is a very talented receiver. We knew that coming out of college, but he can't block a lick, and I was shocked he had those big plays. But hey, 164 yards at a tight end, and you're gonna take that every day of the freaking millennium. Keenan Allen is just an absolute monster underneath and in the intermediate part of the field. A lot of big plays for this offense there. Ladd McConkey kind of underwhelmed, though. Quentin Johnston's kind of faded, he's definitely low tapered out over the past couple weeks here. As he did catch a touchdown, though, but then he got locked up by Nick Ross there as well. O-line did not play well either. Defense, especially secondary, did not show up for this game. I mean, you guys give 38 points. What else was I going to say? OA struggled overall. I think he had a couple of nice pressures, but there were other plays where they were really ugly to watch on tape. Again, the very little tape I've watched so far on him. And also, he was bad against the run again. Anyone could have saw that. You didn't even need to actually watch film for that. Does Herbie have a thing? I already talked about that. But anyway, for the disappointing performance by the Chargers, but they had a lot of yardage. Again, the Colts had a decent amount too. Actually, the Chargers had more possession. Again, those 2 picks were very crucial to the Colts winning this game. Grover Stewart, insane interception there. You guys saw that way back in the intro. That's all I got for you guys in this game now. Let's get to the most insane game of the day. You already saw all the highlights for them. So again, let's just I'll try to fill in the gas with these ones.
From Denver, CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the New York. Good cut. Now here he goes, winding up, he's got him! Touchdown! Bellinger! The block. Off to the running back, Scadaboo. There was a block inside. He's going to stiff arm his way in. Touchdown, Giants. Scadaboo.
He's your big target down here.
You called it. There's Sutton. Oh, killed. What a big-time hit, Pelton.
On defense.
Tracy, a big hole. Galloping. Touchdown. Touchdown, Giants. A burst of 31 yards. Scadaboo the back. 3rd and 17. And caught a pass, caught on the ricochet. It's grabbed here by the galloping Johnson. Oh, yeah. Did he get in? He did. Touchdown.
Barely good.
Here they come. Here he goes. And it is bobbled and caught. Robinson reels it in. Dart will run it himself and dives. And short inside the 1.
What the This game is actually, there's no way this game isn't rage bait, right? I mean, guys, I love Jackson Dart, bro. He's my favorite quarterback. But, bro, this game you cannot tell me this game wasn't rage bait, because it literally was. That was an absolute horrendous pick by Jackson Dart, though. again, I think any other quarterback, again, I'm not trying to get too deep in this, but there's no way in rats, you know what, that any other quarterback would have thrown that pick. Jackson, no, you're actually a brick for that. But anyway, out to me getting rage baited by the Giants. This game was not real. There's no way. Again, this had to have been. Again, there's no, just not real. This was made up. This never happened. But anyway, for the Broncos, they're now 4 straight W's. They're 5-2. Again, I'll get more into them later. But they have a game next week. That's all I'll say against the hopefully, they got Cowboys. Oh, that's going to be an interesting one. That's definitely going to be, that's a really good game. Giants still fall 2-5. They get the Eagles on the road next week. They might lose that. Hopefully not, though. Jackson Dart, he was surgical in the first half. Well, he was surgical until the fourth quarter. Then he was surgically tearing up the Giants' defense. I don't know. He had a crazy first half. Then he kind of just threw the ball wherever he wanted and kind of didn't really work out. But again, he led a game-winning drive, so I don't really know what to tell you guys. Like, he set this team up for success. Cam Scatterbo and Tyron Tracy kind of cooked up until they didn't in the fourth quarter. Tyron Tracy, really, other than that one big run, really didn't do too much, though, to be honest with you guys. Passing him was somehow boomer bust. I don't really know how this works because they have Lana Robinson, who is actually emerging as a solid player. Thank God on extra downfield. But without Darius Slayton, I don't see this. I'm joking. I'm not going to rate you guys with that. But they really need a legit receiver in this offense without Neighbors. Bellinger was a big play machine. I don't know how he got. I mean, I do know how he got that wide open. I would have left him that wide open on that touchdown. Then Theo Johnson, he's super athletic. He's actually fun to watch. But I mean, he's just kind of sad to watch too because he obviously has no idea what he's doing out there sometimes too. Simply just being honest with you guys there. Offensive line also fell apart. They actually, I think they might have disintegrated with how bad they played in the fourth quarter. They actually did absolutely nothing out there late. But anyway, the defense, there is no excuse for this performance. I might fire their defensive coordinator. Like who's their defensive coordinator? This is actually a casual moment by the. How do I not know this? Yeah, it's Shane Bowen. My bad, guys. I'm a little bit of a brick for that one. But yeah, Shane Bowen might have to get fired for this defensive performance. You gave up 33 points in the fourth quarter. What? Like, this seems not real, bro. But anyway, pass rush was absolutely awful after Brian Burns got injured, as you might expect, because he might actually be the best edge rusher in football right now. Sexy Dexy wasn't all of that. It wasn't any of that, actually. I think he might have gotten one pressure, and I'd be being nice with that one. Bobby Okereke let this team down. He's supposed to be their I won't say they're iron on defense. They're rock on defense. He was more like a pedal or a pebble. My bad. I'm not really good with words sometimes. Anyway, haven't won a road game since week 5 last year when they beat Seattle by 2 scores technically. And then also led 19-0. This is their 8th largest, I guess technically, blown lead in their team history. So there's no way to put around this other than the fact that this Giants team just put together one of the biggest choke jobs I've ever seen. For the Broncos, though, first of all, this is not a sustainable way to win games. They will get absolutely arse-whooped next week if they play like this. I mean, hopefully. I hate the Cowboys, but the Broncos do deserve this. It's the second straight road game where they've had this happen, where they were down by 2+ touchdowns in the fourth quarter and just decided to score a bunch of points. Also, they were 1 point shy of tying the NFL record for most points in a fourth quarter. The overall, I think, record for points in a quarter was like 41 back in like the 1960s or 70s. No, it was the 1940s. But anyway, other than that, it's their best start since 2016, I think, when they were 7-3. That year they missed the playoffs. So I mean, don't get too happy, Broncos fans. You guys actually do need to finish off the season. Yeah. What do we even start with Bo? Bo Nix threw 50 passes in this game. I don't even think one of them was really fun to watch. But no, yeah. Bo overall made a lot of good throws outside the numbers. He really wasn't trying to push the envelope whatsoever up the middle of the field, which I got to give him credit for because, I mean, outside of a couple deep shots that really weren't there, he made a lot of good decisions in this game. Kind of just a savvy game overall, despite the fact he got shut out for 3 quarters and he really didn't do much. But still, Jacob Dobbins was kind of out there. Not really, though. Bo Nix also scored 2 touchdowns on the ground. Again, touchdown from Torrey Franklin, as well as R.J. Harvey. Cortland Sutton had a huge fourth quarter. Marvin Mims also was a very crucial part of their win as well. Concerning pressure rate from this defense, though, because they were just really bad for most of this game. If it wasn't for that Michael Strand interception, they probably would have lost this game. Again, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Yeah, they kind of got exposed in terms of their pre-snap miscues because that will injure them. Not injure them. I mean, it will. It'll injure their record. Other than that, though, yeah, holy crap, this game was not real. And I hope the Broncos get blown out next week. Maybe not, though, because I'd like to see the Cowboys lose, too. If the Cowboys blew a 40-point lead, bro, that would actually be so funny. I might actually have to see that happen. But anyway, that's all I got from you guys here. Now let's get to a game that definitely is going to get overlooked in a month. But, yeah, at least the highlights were good.
Packers are in Glendale, Arizona, getting set to take on Jacoby Brissett
and the Cardinals. The clock at 2. They get the snap away, and the pass is caught for a Green Bay first down. It's Golden again. Fourth down.
Have no interest in that right now.
Love going deep, just out of the reach. Down. The Jets pass. Let's see if they roll the reception. No whistle. Ball comes loose, and it's recovered by McKinney. Penalty marker. There was movement prior to the snap. The catch is made by Zay Jones. There's Brissett on third down. He throws, end zone, touchdown. Just as you drew it up, Jonathan Velma. As Brissett has the ball knocked loose. First and goal from the 7. Inside the 5 to the end zone. Touchdown, Josh Jacobs. Influence on Brissett. It's McBride, makes the catch, spins it to the end zone for his second touchdown today. Right side of Love, who fakes the handoff to Jacobs, and now throws, and it's taken in for a touchdown by Kraft. It's Brissett on the sneak. He will not get there. Jordan Love and the Packers on fourth down. Love throws to the outside. It's caught for a first down by Kraft. Hands it off to Jacobs, and he is in for a Packers touchdown, his second today. There's Brissett through the end zone. It's batted down.
Packers fans definitely were not comfortable whatsoever watching this game, but at the end of the day, the Packers still found a way to, again, get through this game as they move to 4-1-1. They're only one of 3 one-loss teams left in the league. I mean, that was kind of how the week came into it, but they come around and knock off the Cardinals, similar to what the Colts did last week, but this time on the road, being for the Packers. They earned their first win in Glendale since 2010 in that heartbreaking wild card game, where again they did lose that. Or no, they haven't lost there. My bad, because they've won here a lot. But anyway, Cardinals fall 2-5. We'll get more on them in a little bit. But the Packers next week will be heading to Pittsburgh to have a massive game against Aaron Rodgers. Cardinals are on their bye week where they have a lot of stuff to fix. But anyway, for the Packers, yikes! Because I mean, I was not looking at this performance and looking again too happy about it. But still, they figured it out as their defense is going to need to work out. Yeah. A way to be decent without, Micah Parsons having a career day as it was. He had a career high 3 sacks in this game. Jacobs had a good game as well. He was out there. Jordan Love, I could give less of a hoot about how he played. He was just kind of making things happen. Not really doing much else other than that. Tucker Kraft was good. Their most reliable receivers, Romeo Doubs. Dontavian Winks wasn't very good, though. Again, you see this dude right here. Other than that, though, they do need to diagnose safety as a way to remedy their play action with the run game factors. The reason I say run game factors is because and this is kind of how I label it. I don't really think it's dictative language for football, but I kind of say that again the run defenders that are filling gaps, at least pre-snap, are kind of like thought of as factors, and like the not factors. The guys that could be moving, or you anticipate to move, are the factors, because those are the ones that will actually influence the play. So they did not do a good job with that in this game. Part of the reason the guy like Josh Jacobs did have a similar game the way he played against Cincinnati last week. But other than that, Walker was great against zone blocking. He just completely shed those blocks and just did a really good job getting through those plays. Also, Micah has arrived this season. And then Xavier McKinney wasn't awesome in this game. Definitely wasn't one of his better games, but he still figured things out. And also, corners are concerning. They don't really have a true number 1 corner right now, which until that changes, it's going to be a little bit of an issue. But anyway, for the Cardinals, biggest takeaway I have for them is they don't look bad. This is not a team that you look at as saying is a bad football team. I mean, they're not good. They would be winning if they were good. But they have every single game that has been 1 score. Bad football teams do not have 1 score games. It's that simple. They get blown out every week, or not like something like that. They lose games the way they shouldn't. But again, they've lost 5 straight games at this point. Gonna have to win a game at some point, guys. It's that simple. Cardinals have not been 2-5 in a minute. I know they actually were worse than that a couple years ago, but still, they've lost 5 straight games. Not good things are not gonna happen. I mean, like ties their longest streak. No, it's not true because they lost 6 straight, 23. But still, every game's 1 score for this team. McBride is elite. He had his first 2 touchdown game. Johnson and Williams, again, the offensive tackles, they were good as run blockers. I guess sort of fine as pass blocking. The reason I say that is because, again, they did give a little bit of pressure overall, but they weren't really the main issue. Haven't beaten the Packers since 2018 as well. They haven't, again, like I said, beaten them here in a long time. Downfield passing game is established with Brissett. It is not with Kyler Murray. That's why see if he actually plays. And then also, their secondary was gritty, but they were a little bit worrisome on, yak yardage because they didn't really get many guys down. And also, they were good on third down, going 7-14. But the Packers fans, you did hold on despite getting out yardaged. And that's not really a verb, but still, that fumble is a little bit of an issue there from the Cardinals. But they play a good game. At the end of the day, they just lose another one, score one. As the Packers move to 4-1-1, let's move over to our game of the week, which I guess was okay. I don't know. There was a lot of stuff that happened.
This game of the week, week 7, the NFL on Fox, and an old NFC East matchup as Washington here to take on Dallas. We say good afternoon. It is with Williams the back. Give it to Javonte Williams, up the gut and touchdown Dallas. They found a way. Need a little bit better on D. See if they get it today. Williams is in trouble. He's going to be dropped for a safety. 3rd and goal. Daniels looking, throwing, touchdown, Zach Ertz. Out of time, airs it out, deep down the field. CeeDee Lamb, breaks the tackle, no one home. Touchdown, Dallas. Barely get it off, 4th down, Daniels floats one, and Zach Ertz, the intended receiver. There is a penalty at the 40. After the big play from Nichols, Daniels going to keep it, and he is in for the touchdown. Left for Dallas. After the sack, it's Prescott. Launching, going deep. Pickens, good.
And he's have to be throws at this point.
He will throw. Prescott throws over the middle. It is caught. Ferguson. Touchdown, Dallas. Daniels. The fake.
Just going to get a chance to review that one.
Fake to Williams. Prescott throws it out to Ferguson. Touchdown, Dallas. Coming, Mariota in trouble. Being ripped away. Stays alive. Throws it in the front. Game. Give it to Rodriguez. Stutter step. Leads to the end zone. Is he in? No, but it's a 1st and goal. Down and 1. Mariota on the fake.
Wait.
McCaffrey, oh man, it was a gimme.
And the Cowboys put on an absolute show as they put up 44 points, bringing their season average at home to 41.3 points per game as they get back to 500 with a big bounce-back victory over a decimated Commanders offense as they fall to 3-4 with their 2nd straight loss. And it's just not looking too hot so far this season as they've been, again, like I said, brutally brought into reality with injuries as they now have to head to Kansas City next week, potentially without their quarterback, Jaden Daniels. But at least they have an extra day to figure that out. Cowboys, though, they'll be heading to Denver next week for a monster offensive showdown. Maybe not offensive because Denver won't score for the 3 quarters and then decide to put up 50 in the 4th or something. But anyway, Jaden Daniels overall looked uncomfortable in this game. He was very inconsistent, again, with the pressure up the middle. Then he got absolutely just, his hamstring got cooked. I don't know if that again, I don't think that'll be something that he'll play on, but we'll see what happens with that. Marcus Mariota's interception was hilarious, though. He looked like, like the guys that always try to make the SportsCenter top 10. That's kind of what it was, except it actually got picked off by Deron Bland. And again, he owns this team. He had the record-breaking pick 6 back on Thanksgiving a couple of years ago against this team as well. But anyway, yeah, D is genuinely an issue. They're absolutely terrible. I mean, again, just at the end of the day, guys, they give way too many big plays. When you're a defense where that's kind of like a factor of you, or not a factor, an issue of yours, it's kind of hard to be good. It's the other day there. JCM was non-existent. I mean, he had 13 carries, but he didn't do anything with those. Jalen Lane and Chris Moore did their best. They literally don't have any healthy receivers. I can't even really blame them at all for that. Lattimore and Amos were burnt toast. They just were not good in this game. I can't really put it any more straight to you guys. Both those cornerbacks, again, National Lattimore being a vet, did not show up in this game really at all. And also, Cosme was interesting. I don't think he was very good, Sam Cosme, their offensive lineman, but at the same time, he did show some flashes of what were usually used to seeing from him, so at least we saw that in his first game. Also, again, like I said, they need to fix the big play mistakes. That does not happen for this defense. They will continue to suck, and their pressure rate will continue to plummet because teams will just, pitch it around on them. But for this Cowboys offense, they're elite at home. I mean, there's no way around that. They're putting up, doing whatever they want there. They had 4 and 9 yards of offense. Dak threw 3 touchdowns. They had a fun day out there. Dak in 7 home games over in his career against the Commanders has 20 touchdowns and no picks. That is ridiculous. Also, they actually got an offensive line this week. Again, that's part of the reason they ran the ball really well, too. But yeah, they had a really nice offensive performance in that sense. CD was, as you might have expected him to be, as he had a touchdown as well. He did his thing out there. Pickens still 8. He had a decent game. Again, he had a couple big plays. Jake Ferguson also caught 2 touchdowns. On that, though, I will say this for this defense. Maybe man with a talented secondary, was a good idea. Of course, I know they didn't have Diggs, but in all honesty, guys, I was kind of shocked that this, schematic change would work, because Kyrie Elam is not a guy you want to put in man coverage very consistently, and Donovan Wilson is certainly not a guy you want to put in man coverage consistently, but Deron Bland's out there, so I guess they're just like, screw it, we'll make this work. Other than that, though, I want to see this, again, this is a very big, nitpicking thing for this team, but I really want to see this offensive line combo block at the second level, which is a very hard thing to do with the way they're going to run things, but at the same time, they definitely have the talent to be able to do it. Add a pistol to add a wrinkle to this offense, especially going against Denver, that will really try to blitz them out of those, empty sets. I think that would really help this offense kind of be put in a little bit more of a diversified role for them next week. But other than that, big-time offensive performance from the Cowboys. We'll see them next week. Now let's get into our Sunday Nighter.
What a Sunday night in the Bay Area, and we are 45 miles south of San Francisco at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara.
Attacking right down the gut.
The 23 off the hands of Jennings, and Ellis comes up with the interception. First and goal for the one. McCaffrey inside into the end zone. Touchdown. Green. First and 10. Huff off the end zone. Jennings to knock the ball out. And so it's 3rd and 6. Falcons bring 4. And they get to Jones, and the ball comes out. It bounces into the hands of the Niners. 7 seconds left. Penix drifting. Now use that big powerful order. And Trevin Mooney not tackled. Stays on his feet to the 22. Penix and protecting. Robinson. Edge. First down. Bijan Robinson. Touchdown Atlanta. Throwing. Penix. Incomplete. And here he is on the run. Inside. And his name is Jones. Pushing the
Alright guys, and for Sunday Night Football, which actually just ended here, the Niners were able to knock out the Falcons 20-10 in what was a very uneventful game. They, again, muddied things up defensively as, their defensive coordinator, Robert Saleh, who seems to really have found his way back to this team after, again, getting fired by the Jets last season, almost a little over a year ago now, but still, for the Niners in this game, it was a very solid defensive performance. Again, like I said, they moved 5-2, still hold first place in the NFC West for now, as again, they did beat the Rams and the Seahawks and then Cardinals to, again, get to this place in the division. I think they're still 3 now because they haven't played anyone else, right? Something like that. Anyway, though, they're 5-2. They'll be playing someone next week. Who that team is to be. No, I'm joking. It's not to be determined. We already know who they're playing. They're going to be heading to Houston and take on the Texans in what should be a very similar game to the way this one went. Hopefully a little bit more close. The Falcons, though, they fall here in this one after, again, as they failed to build off of that huge Monday night win. And they did have to go cross the country on a short week. So, again, you weren't expecting this offense to maybe play their best game. But there were a lot of, again, inconsistencies overall in their game plan that I really think held them back in this one, especially early on, as they were really not able to get much going in their first couple of drives. On top of that, though, they were back at 500. They will look to, again, build up as they return home next week for a game against the Dolphins. Anyway, though, for Michael Penix, he was a little bit all over the place in this game. He had some nice throws, but there were definitely some instances where he either made the wrong read or just simply threw it to where no one was. I mean, I don't want to say that's a bad thing, but again, you got to at least give someone a chance at that point, bro. Like, honestly, like, what are we trying to do there? But honestly, this offensive line really struggled off the edge. Again, there was one play I showed you guys in the strip sack. Bryce Huff just absolutely torched Elijah Wilkinson. And that is what happens when you have, a blindside protector, considering, Michael Penix is a lefty, but a blindside protector. Not who is, again, Cale McGarry is supposed to be the starter, and he's, again, out the season. So, again, that was probably a little bit of weakness shown right there. But running game, Tyler Alligator, I think, should have got a couple more carries. I think Bijan just really didn't have it in this game in terms of his best performance. He really got held in check. I think he had one decent run overall. He, of course, scored that touchdown. But outside of that, this isn't the Bijan Robinson we're used to seeing it so far this season. Darnell Mooney, 3 catches, 68 yards, made a big play downfield. But other than that, really wasn't that featured that much. Drake London got locked up by Diamond Lenore. I think Ronaldo Green did a really good job on Kyle Pitts when he was on him, even though Kyle Pitts overall has been a pretty productive player this year relative to what we've seen the past couple years. But again, I think he definitely didn't have his best game considering the way Ronaldo Green was able to match on him, especially in those man press situations. So I think he only had maybe 2.1 yards per. No, definitely not that much. That was on a different route. It was like 0.2 yards per route against Ronaldo Green and press in the slot. So that's what I'll say there. Other than that, though, like I said, their offensive line just really struggled to, again, kind of build up. It wasn't the fact that, again, they weren't able to get the second level because they were able to do that in terms of yards before contact for Bijan. That was definitely something that just wasn't a reality for him in this game. Defensively, though, Caden Ellis was very good. From the very little I saw him, to be honest with you guys, but he didn't really look, at least in coverage, to be off. I haven't been able to watch any of these guys film, so I don't really know truly how well they performed. But I will say, Caden Ellis, from what I saw, was decent. And also that big interception. Jesse Bates didn't really have to do too much in this game, but he did make 10 tackles overall. Xavier Watts also had a decent game. He played a lot of man, from what I could recognize out there. Other than that, though, Arnold Ebiketie, he seemed to be in a lot of awkward situations against the run, kind of put in tough spots, and again that kind of limited his pass rusher overall in terms of his effectiveness as well. And again, John Parker Romo also had his 38-yarder. Moving over to the Niners, Mac Jones was kind of not really that good. There was definitely a more game manager role for him in this one. CMC had his best game rushing in the season with 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. Again, he had a couple of decent runs, but none of them were truly explosive. Again, he had 7 for 7 to his receiver as well. He had over 200 yards. Pretty simply put, he is this entire offense right now, and they desperately need some guys back. Juwan Jennings was definitely using a supplemental role. Didn't really see him run any true routes downfield. Kendrick Bourne kind of was put on the back burner as well in this game. It's kind of hard to watch this offense right now, considering, again, CMC is really the only guy that's able to do anything. But I do think their defense was pretty solid. Again, it's kind of ironic that, again, CMC on this workload hasn't gotten injured yet, with all the other guys who haven't even played yet so far this season already injured. Again, George Kittle really wasn't asked to do too much in this game. I think he had very minimal snap count. Defensively, like I said, they were very good. We already kind of talked about them, but I really like this team's approach. I really need Bryce Hoff, though, to be a little bit more consistent, because, again, if he can do what he is able to do on that strip sack play, this defense is going to be in for something. Malik Mustafa was also very, very good in his first true game back. Team stats-wise, obviously we see the Niners outgained them. They controlled the clock. This is definitely a classic Niner win, as they went 9-15 on third down, muddy things up. Didn't get any big plays, but again, they avoided giving up too many big plays on the Falcons side. So, big time solid win for the Niners. That's all I got for you guys here in the Week 7 Sunday recap. Hope you guys enjoyed all these games. Get ready for the Monday Night Football games. Predictions will be coming out sometime, I think midday, around noon. Again, for the huge Monday night doubleheader, and then again, I'll see if to recap all those on Tuesday, and we got a lot of other fun things going on as well as we get closer to Halloween. Actually, mid-season, that's coming up too.
Season before tonight. Thrust into duty, buys some time, racing ahead, a lot of green in front of him, and wisely